Okay, cool. Stream 22. Yeah, I've got some, I guess, announcements about this stream series, but I'll save those for the end. We can just get straight to the material. So let me get my screens sorted out. Let's see what folks want me to work on. Although it's it's kind of two options for the same topic. You know, we've been moving these variables around, and last time, in between, I think, sessions, so the prior 21 and 20, maybe, I found an import-export variables plugin. So I was able to get them out as JSON, but I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out how to manipulate the JSON in a way that would move the variables where I wanted to move them, which is extracting those semantic ones out of the primitive collection into their own new collection and then re-upload them, re-import them. But I just could not get the the syntax to behave, or just the expected format. I couldn't match it. So that's what folks want to see me work on. The other one was just to move stuff by hand, which I feel bad. It was a bit of a throwaway vote. Who wants more of the last stream? But great news. Steven from Twitter, who I can link to below, I'll link to the tweet thread, showed me, he found this variables utilities plugin by Yuan King Lim, or Lim perhaps, and it looks like it has just enough of what I need to work, specifically duplicating variable collections. That I realized looking at this list of capabilities, this is like the minimum that I would need to make this go way, way, way faster. So I'm gonna go off script a bit. This is how the votes shook out, but you know, I got new information, and I think this is gonna be the better process. We're gonna get to the end goal. So there is something to note here. This, if you're interested in this app, there is a one-time purchase associated with this, but I do believe you get to run it a couple times, 5 times for free. And then after that, it's paid. And I'm really glad to see that Yuan decided to keep this as like a one-time payment thing and not a subscription. I think this is a very reasonable price considering the utilities here. So, you know, this is not sponsored, but I'm just so happy to see that this is in the community, and so quickly too. I think a lot of folks like me had been asking for this, so let's try this plugin out. You know, it opens new files to begin with, but we can come over to this file here, and we should be able to find variable utilities. So here's my plan. Here's what I'm thinking. We've got this primitive level collection, right, with the 00. That's how we know. And last stream, I was moving all these things that had 01 out of it, and I think I successfully moved 1 or 2 groups out of this collection and into the 01 group, the semantic group colors, right? And it was just agonizing. It took a long time. And then that's just the semantics. Look at how many 02 component level groups there are to move, right? So it's just bananas. I think what the move is going to be is to duplicate colors and then just delete the things that aren't necessary. So that's what I want to do here. So let's run. Let's see, I want to duplicate a variable collection. And I'll move this out of the way. And this is the one I want to duplicate. And I'll call this 01.1 colors. Or actually, I'll use a dash. I'm not sure if the dot is going to be friendly, because I know you can't have dots in variable names. So, you know, the work from last stream is will be for naught. But yeah. And just to double check, I want to make sure I'm not missing something. The scrolling is so weird in the community these days. So other things we can do, we can copy collections, paste collections, swap collections. There's a lot that you can do at the collection level. And then you can do stuff with modes, but in terms of variables, replacing, detaching, and bulk editing text only. So I just want to see really quick what replacing, I want to verify what that means before I do something. So what I'm expecting what that means is, you know, detaching from something on the canvas. So I've just applied one of my variables from O1 colors. Let's actually do like O2. Or, oh yeah, it's just one big collection, never mind. Okay, so then I might waste one of my uses here. Okay. Oh, no variables in selection. I might have disconnected the variable myself. But that is what I wanted to verify, is that it's about detaching things from the canvas. So I think my hunch is correct. I do want to duplicate the collection that I have, and then I can just delete what I don't need. And I think I'll do that twice. I'll do it once to get the semantics, and then once again to get the components out. So duplicate. We're going to duplicate colors. Again, O1-1 colors, so we don't confuse it with our existing one. 4 free uses left. Let's see what that produced. So we've got O1-1 colors. Great. So let's do a little bit of work in here. From here, we would delete anything. Oh, and then I've got these weirdos kind of at the top here. The grays, the teals. We'll deal with those later, but this is my O1 collection, so I don't want any. Oh, and thank goodness we can bulk select stuff now. That's a new native enhancement. We can delete those. I don't think we want scrim in here. There's not a lot, so that would not be difficult to recreate, but we don't want reports. Any of these component things. Get that out of here. We also don't want primitives. So green, blue, marketing question mark, yellows, delete. And then O2, we'll get rid of all of our O2 stuff. Account widget at the bottom there. So then that leaves us with these kind of weird utilities. And then, oh, okay. I just realized because I had been moving things, this is not the full range of stuff. So these still need to, I will at some point have to recreate these in the new O1 color group, but oh, maybe that was a waste. At this point, it's probably less work. Yeah, I kind of messed that one up, I guess. Because right now the only real semantic things in here are these items, and there's only 6, and so I might as well just move these 6 over to my old color group. Okay, that's okay though, because this will still work out really well for getting the component levels sorted. So we'll do the exact same thing. I want to duplicate OO colors, and we will call this O2-1. Oh my gosh. I did not want one password, actually. Okay. Components. And there it is. We can open that up, and we will delete anything that is not O2. So this is not the end of the work, of course. The other dilemma that we have is that these are not aliasing anything, and that's kind of the point. So finding a linter is the next move. I would love for something to do some hex code matching between all this stuff. So this is empty. We don't need this collection anymore, so we will delete it. And I can safely rename this guy now. We'll get rid of the -1. And then if you'll indulge me on this. I am gonna do the manual move. Get these guys out of here, especially these backgrounds. So primary, secondary, tertiary, these are just odd to see because they're very light grays. But they are semantic names, so oh well. Okay, status positive. Let's see if I got my, if I can remember how to do this. So we'll make a variable. Now, these are all going to be status components, so perhaps we want them in a group called status. And I remember that that was referencing a green 69F38, so let's go back to our primitives. We'll go to our greens, 700. Oh, wrong collection. There it is. And we've got the prefix handled by the group name, so we can just delete that. Then we can come back to colors, delete. Negative is CA4H1D. $600. Oh, I forgot to copy paste. Oh well. And then cautious. E0A4. Is a yellow. 700. Excellent. Okay. And I'm expecting I'll still have some time at the end of this stream. We can start looking for a linter that would, I'll just delete the group here. Grouped, yeah, what is going on? These are so odd. I'm really not sure what to do with these tertiary, quaternary, but they're in this thing called grouped, and they're separate from primary, secondary, tertiary. Kind of want to leave those be. And we've also got all these grays. Well, hold on. So we don't need this. We've got this covered. But my teals, right, and these are the numbers that I made up. They're kind of all over the place. Did we ever find those? Oh, and here's something else we can do in our OO colors. Since we've moved everything, right? I want to make sure. I'm going to at least delete all the component level groups, these O2 prefix ones, because those we've for sure moved. But I want to double check that the semantics are sorted out because those have, you know, we've did a little bit manual, or we went all the way manual on moving those ones. Okay. So accent. The primary blue is definitely not teal. I have a feeling it's in Legacy. These are some teals. Could be a teal. These are looking more familiar. Okay. Okay. Which makes me think we're kind of safe to delete my stuff because it will all have been accounted for. So I'm going to delete that group. And then the grays that I have, we already have a gray category, and I should really pick a spelling. We're going to do the E spelling of gray. I'm going to get rid of these two. The utility colors are just strange to me, but we have them, which is great. I don't know what scrim means still. and then these legacy ones. So let's make sure now that we have these guys in 01 colors. I guess I do have to move. I'm gonna move these weird ones. Grouped backgrounds. I really don't get it. But we'll do it the same way. It will maybe become clear once we run into the actual thing that uses that. So backgrounds grouped. Primary is F9, F8, FB, and I'm expecting this to be a gray. It is, it's 50. There we go. Ah, okay, I'm working with this grouped group. So then we skip down to quaternary. These are out of order. E5, E5, EA. Oh, we don't need to change. We're in grays. 200. Tertiary F5, F5, FA. I did not even look and see what that uses. Let's go to grays. 100. There they are. Okay. Okay, so that gets rid of group. We did status already. Delete. Delete. But then we've got this other kind of oddball, another primary just ungrouped. It's just pure white, which I imagine we have. Oh, I had to make that one. I remember a 0 value. So this will be a fresh group here. How was that grouped over here? Oh, okay, backgrounds. Odd. So we'll get backgrounds set up, grouped is nested inside of that, and we can continue. Secondary is F5, F5. We've looked at that, but I've forgotten. 100. Now, I'm kind of recalling that I'm going against some advice that I gave in the last one, which was don't make variables and variants for the sake of having them, like for filling out a ramp of numbers or a matrix of variants, right? If you're not going to use it, there's no point. I don't know if I'm going to use these or not, so we'll see. E5, E5, EA. Yeah, I hope that all would get used. 200. Okay, that's the last one, y'all. 200 gray. And we can come back to colors and we can delete backgrounds. I think we have illustration, but they might just not be hooked up yet. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, sorry. One more round. Here we go. This will be our illustration group. How many? I don't think it's that many. Yeah, doodles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and these are easy enough. FD, BE to A is a yellow. And these might be under marketing. Yeah, marketing age your gold. Now, is that under yellow? It's not. It's specifically a marketing color. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to get the name. But let's go back. Age your gold. Now, actually, see, that's, hold on. Marketing age your gold, doodle age your gold are the same thing. This is interesting. My first thought, and maybe your first thought too, is why would you have two variables with the same raw hex value? You could ask that same question when you're aliasing too. Why would you have two variables that alias the same primitive? What's the advantage? I can see the argument, right? You're duplicating a thing, you're repeating it, which opens you up to some risk if the intention is for them to stay in sync. But maybe that's not the intention. Maybe where this method has an advantage, I think, is where you want some flexibility, right? You are anticipating some change, and this gets squirrely because it's kind of like, you're building things that you might not need. If you need both of these and you anticipate that your illustration team or your illustrator within marketing, their palette might be changing or things like that. Like I could see giving them their own space, even if they are using a lot of the same colors from marketing. But yeah, it's really about, it's a very personal decision, I think, for a team. Here we've got buttermilk orange green. I think a lot of these are the same color. I would imagine, I think illustration is a part of marketing. It is a marketing asset. And these should be references, is what I'm thinking. And here's something else. So like this wisteria, this purple, right? We've got hold up. I know we've got purples. Accent. And that should get renamed. These are purples. I'm keeping the parentheses for now so we know kind of like semantically how they might want to get used. But that wisteria was C5, A7. All right. I think that's what I'm going to do. Illustrations are semantic. They reference some marketing colors, but they also reference colors that would be used in the rest of the interface. So let's keep marketing in the primitive level, right? No, I want to move them. This belongs with the greens, but it's a very different green. It's got so much more yellow in it. And I think I'm having like a deja vu moment. I think this came up last time too. These could easily move into yellows. They're not that wild. Gosh. This is also where I'm wondering if, actually, here's what I'm thinking now. Similar to your component libraries, it probably in the long run does not benefit marketing and product teams to be using the same libraries or even the same variable collections. Figma can be a powerful tool for both of those kind of splits in designers, different types of design work, right? But the way that they name things, organize things, and think about color and color usage is like so different. There's things that product designers have to consider that marketing doesn't, and probably vice versa. I mean, for me, something that stands out as an obvious difference is, you see a lot of kind of this cute branded naming, age your gold, buttermilk, rolling with the punches green, right? Whereas over here, we're just using numbers, right? Because that's a bit more of a helpful name, in my opinion. So what I'm thinking here is that marketing is actually, it should be in its own collection, but it would still be a primitive level collection. So what would happen here is this would become UI colors, right? And then we might have marketing colors, other collection. In the real world, like if I was at YNAB and I was doing this and they were asking me like to make a call, I might even say like marketing, completely different file, like completely different library file. Maybe. I think it's worth considering. So let's do that. And at this rate, there's not a whole lot to move, so I'm not going to waste my free uses on that amazing plugin. So we'll call this, and I'm going to say, I'm going to do shorthand, marketing colors. So now we've got these two guys. And I do think it's okay for us to cross-reference across. You know, marketing does need some, or I'm sorry, illustration is going to be nested inside of marketing. And then this whole group is going to move. And I think it's okay if we're referencing some UI colors in our illustration. Actually, no, it's not. Because, you know, again, the product team might make a decision. They might make a decision about the blues. And do you want that to impact marketing? Probably not. So maybe they should stay raw, even though it is the same hex color. I think there should be some flexibility. And I'm thinking about this in like a real world application, but I have to remember for this project, like I'm the one who's making all the stuff. And if I get to the place where I am bringing in product illustrations and applying variables to them, oh my gosh, there's just so many things I think I would want to do before we get to that state. So yeah, I'll save this. I know we're getting close to the half-hour mark here, and I remember mentioning I had some little announcements I wanted to make, so I'll reserve these last 3 minutes for that. This will be the last YNAB live build stream that I do this year. I fully intend to come back to this in the new year. I am taking on a teaching gig. I've been asked to teach an intro to graphic design class at American University, which is where I got my design degree, and I'm really excited for that. It's just the one section, and I have a lot of support from the department. All the materials are, kind of there for me. I'm not designing the class, figuring out like what are the projects, what are the exercises, all that. So that saves me a lot of effort. However, there's a lot of other parts of teaching that need time and attention, and I want to give this opportunity my full focus for my free time, because I'm doing this on top of my day job. So yeah, I need kind of every minute back that I can get and every little ounce of attention. I really want to make sure the students who are taking my class have a good experience, and that they get my best. So no more streams until the semester's over, and I'll probably revisit this in January. I won't be publishing any new blog posts. I'm going to be jotting down ideas. I'm sure ideas and things will come up, but don't expect any publications or new publications. There was a third thing. I've been seeing an uptick in folks reaching out for advice, either through the contact form or they'll reply to a newsletter email. And I love that so much because, I mean, it's exactly what I wanted to have happen out of all this. I wanted to kind of have some conversation with folks, and share best practices. I'm very opinionated. I've got ideas about how to work in Figma that work really well for me, but I can't ignore that also I have become a bit of a resource for some folks out there. And I want to make sure that if I'm giving advice, it's good advice. And so I appreciate when folks reach out to me to ask questions, challenge an idea, or show me how they approached the same problem and why that approach worked for them. It just is really helpful context. I say all this as a preface to, I'm pretty good about replying within a couple days most of the time. But I do not think I can keep that that cadence or that kind of response time while I'm teaching this semester. So if you reach out to me anywhere, Twitter, email, YouTube comments, I don't get a lot of those, but I'm not ignoring you. And I'll do my best to at least tell folks like, hey, saw your message. I will reply to this. I need a couple weeks or some estimate, just so I'm not leaving you hanging. But yeah, I'm a bit unavailable until kind of end of, well, not even end of December, because then we hit the holidays, but January next year. So that's the announcement. If you want to, you know, stay tuned in terms of how the stream might change. I might change some things when I revisit this. I think a break is a good opportunity, a forced break. I'm forcing it on myself, but it's a break and it's a good opportunity to kind of revisit how I run this. So if you want to stay up to date on all the content I produce, my blog here and elsewhere, you know, get on the newsletter. You can follow me on Twitter if you are still on that platform. And yeah, those are the best ways to reach me. Bookmark my website. I've got an RSS feed for the blog posts, but newsletter is probably the best. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the new year.